Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're looking for life-changing wisdom, but not from academics.
Now, our source material is really unique this time. It's a collection of personal notes from author Tal Ben-Shahar, documenting years of conversations with his barber.
That's right, his barber, Avi Peretz. Since 2014, Ben-Shahar has been noting down these insights. So our mission today is to dive into these notes and pull out Avi's practical wisdom.
Sort of like finding the shortcuts to happiness,
Yeah.
The stuff we often miss when we're busy looking for complex answers.
And Avi's salon, it's this tiny place in Ramat HaSharon, Israel, only about 300 square feet. But it's described as much more than just a place for a haircut.
Yeah, it's like a community hub, a place offering wit, wisdom, genuine hospitality, things often missing in our fast-paced world.
So we're unpacking this kind of informal education, looking for those small, actionable ideas for a better life.
Okay, so let's start where the author did. He was apparently having a bit of an existential moment before one appointment.
Right, those big, heavy questions. What's the meaning of it all? Where am I headed? That feeling of inadequacy.
And he overheard Avi talking about wanting to get a pilot's license. So he asked him about it.
And Avi's response was interesting. He admitted he thought some grand achievement, something up there or out there, would fill this emptiness he felt.
But that wasn't it. The real light bulb moment came when Ben-Shahar asked him, okay, so what does fill you up?
And Avi apparently just pointed down towards the ground.
Yeah, he said, the little things that are right here.
You know, the usual stuff. Time with his kids, music, the beach.
And crucially, just talking with his clients day to day, it totally shifted the author's perspective, didn't it? Away from the big unanswerable questions.
To the small, achievable answers right under his nose. It's almost common sense, but the kind we forget.
Exactly. And this grounded view, it didn't come from nowhere. Avi grew up in Jaffa back when it was apparently quite a tough, high-crime area.
Lots of fighting, getting hurt, falling down. He saw it as preparation.
His point was, if you've been through difficult stuff and you've come out the other side, well, you're just less afraid of trying later. You know how to cope.
Which makes you think about kids today, doesn't it? Avi noted how, in his current, much safer neighborhood, kids might be too protected.
Denied that school of experience, as some call it, failing in sports, navigating tricky social situations, even dealing with a tough teacher.
These aren't necessarily traumas. They're like essential lessons for real life. They build practical skills.
Okay, so from that foundation, let's talk about the salon itself. Because Avi seems to use the physical space really intentionally. He creates a kind of sensory vacation.
In just 300 square feet, how?
Well, apparently, it's all about the senses. The smell of white lilies, his stand-in for a trip to Thailand he hasn't taken, mixed with fresh coffee.
Okay.
Then there's the gentle scalp massage during the wash, the rhythm of the scissors, maybe some Latin music playing softly. It's all designed to pull you out of your head, make you present.
I like the linguistic point here, too. The Hebrew word for vacation, herfesh, shares a root with hippus, meaning to search.
Right, so vacation isn't just emptiness. It's creating space to search, maybe for insight or calm.
And this awareness extends to the body-mind connection. Avi says he can actually feel when a client is tense or psychologically rigid.
Yeah, he notices some people almost brace themselves, resist being touched or having their head moved.
So how does he handle that, a mentally stiff client?
Gently. He finds that as he works, just gently moving their head, they eventually, physically, let go. And then almost immediately they become more relaxed, more talkative. He put it like this. It's like their body has let go, and it tells their mind to follow along.
That makes so much sense. We know touch releases oxytocin, the love hormone, which calms us down. And it's reciprocal, right? When we touch, we are also touched.
He even applies this to posture. He might gently say to a client, sit up straight, or nudge someone's chin up slightly like a proud warrior.
And the psychology backs this up, doesn't it? Research shows standing tall actually increases self-confidence, while slouching connects to feeling down.
Exactly. Psychology follows physiology. Like how a firm handshake can actually generate confidence, not just communicate it.
It's like that Thich Nhat Hanh quote. Sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. You act first, the feeling follows.
And this proactive physical approach seems to inform his whole business philosophy, too.
Ah, yes, the story about him stopping everything on a busy day.
Yeah, apparently the salon was full, people waiting, and he just dropped everything to rush off and help a friend who was in trouble.
Sounds like terrible business sense on the surface. Did he lose customers?
He insists the opposite. His core belief is that generosity is the real key to abundance, both emotional and material. Helping others literally lights up the happiness centers in our brains. Giving isn't losing something.
It's a two-way street. How does he put that?
Well, there's that neat linguistic trick again. The Hebrew word for giving, natan, it's a palindrome, reads the same forwards and backwards.
Symbolizing the give and take. When I give, I receive.
Precisely. His conclusion, simple. Greed is expensive.
Okay, but let's push back a bit. That sounds lovely, but risky. What about his new hair dye import business? He apparently turned down fancy analytics and online marketing.
He did. He preferred the traditional way, going salon to salon, building relationships face-to-face, getting deep knowledge through real relationships.
In today's market, that sounds slow, maybe even naive, rejecting data for feelings.
He sees it differently. For him, a good business deal includes a good experience for everyone involved. It's not just the bottom line. It's the long game.
And there's research on this, right? Strong workplace friendships actually predict success.
Absolutely. Gallup and others have found that deep social connections at work boost productivity and success. So for Avi, those relationships are his market analysis.
This focus on the how rather than just the what extends to his parenting too, praising the effort, not the outcome.
Yes, exactly. When his son did well on a geography test, Avi didn't praise him for being smart or getting a high score.
What did he praise then?
He praised him for listening so intently in class and for putting in all the hard work, rewarding the process.
Which is straight out of Carol Dweck's research on mindset. Praising intelligence can make kids fear failure, while praising effort encourages them to tackle challenges.
Right, because effort is the part you can actually control. And that mindset is crucial for dealing with adversity. Which brings us to some of his more unusual coping strategies.
We have to talk about the anger management one. Avi apparently used to have a bit of a temper.
Yes, and he described this situation running late, gets cut off aggressively by a big SUV in a parking lot. The typical reaction is immediate rage, right?
Definitely. Fight or flight kicks in.
The solution, he calls it the cow technique.
The cow technique.
Yeah. Instead of picturing the aggressive driver in the SUV, you mentally replace the SUV with a cow cutting you off.
Chuckles. Okay, I see where this is going. You'd laugh, not fight.
Exactly. Totally reframes it, turns threat into absurdity. It helps you pick your battles. Psychologists talk about this substituting emotions, reframing threat as challenge. It works.
That's brilliant. And he handles hurt differently, too. Someone criticized his English.
Yes, apparently quite painfully.
Yeah.
And Avi's first instinct, his response, wasn't anger or defensiveness. It was a hug.
He hugged the person who insulted him. Wow, that must have stopped them in their tracks.
Completely interrupts the cycle.
Yeah.
His belief is that people who lash out are usually hurting themselves. They need connection, not confrontation. It comes from a deep belief in basic human goodness, even when faced with cruelty.
That ability to reframe, to choose empathy, connects to his thoughts on change, too. He shared a text message that's like a mental check-in.
Oh, yeah. That was powerful. When something like, life changes, the rules change, so we need a new rule book. Maybe your life has changed, and only you haven't noticed.
That hits home. We cling to old ways even when reality has shifted.
We try to force reality into our old boxes. Peter Drucker said it in turbulent times. Change is the only constant. We have to adapt our models to reality, not the other way around.
And this applies even when facing tough decisions. Those right versus right dilemmas where the path isn't clear.
Avi's take is interesting. Moving fast is important, but so is knowing when to sit on the fence and wait.
Don't just do something, stand there.
Sometimes, yes. Great leaders, like Lincoln, often endured the discomfort of uncertainty, waiting for clarity before making a huge decision. Avi put it simply, I just don't know, so I'm waiting.
Waiting to know enough to decide, or waiting to know he has to decide even without full certainty, that takes patience.
Which leads nicely to his overall philosophy. Stability amidst change. Even with his new business possibly taking off, he says he'll never leave the little salon. He calls it his lighthouse.
A lighthouse. That's a lovely image. A steady beacon.
Exactly. A place of predictability, safety, calm. A secure base. We know from psychoanalysts like Winnicott that kids play more creatively near their secure base, usually mom. Adults need that anchor too. The salon is Avi's.
And having that anger seems to allow him to look outwards, beyond himself. He mentioned a lesson from a film called What About Me?
Yeah, the takeaway was about shifting from constant self-focus, what about me, to seeing yourself as part of a bigger picture, a mosaic.
Focusing only on your own tiny piece limits you. 100% of a small part is still a small part.
And focusing on others, contributing to their well-being, it actually helps you. It reduces your own anxieties. It's why relationships are consistently the top factor in national happiness rankings. Denmark, Israel, Colombia, strong social support matters.
So all these pieces of wisdom, hardship, touch, generosity, reframing, connection, stability, they fit into a larger psychological framework. It's not just about bouncing back, is it?
No, it's more than resilience. Resilience is getting back to where you were. The goal, especially when things are tough, is what's called anti-fragility.
Anti-fragility, meaning
Meaning you don't just withstand stress, you actually get stronger because of it. You bounce back higher. Avi's life story, using the toughness of Jaffa to become less afraid later, that's anti-fragility in action.
okay, so how do you cultivate that? You can't just decide to be happy or anti-fragile.
No, you pursue it indirectly. By focusing on the building blocks of, well, whole being, we often use the SPIRE model for this.
SPIRE.
Spiritual, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional well-being. Avi's routines, his lighthouse that hits spiritual and relational. The posture stuff is physical. Learning how dies is intellectual. Handling emotions is emotional. You focus on strengthening those areas.
And happiness becomes the outcome, the side effect.
Precisely.
It feels like his wisdom is, well, contagious. There's that final story about the camp shirts.
Oh, that's a great one. He funded shirts for a teen camp, but had conditions. First, no business logo, just a funny face to make people smile.
And the second condition.
Each camper had to pay for their shirt by doing an anonymous act of kindness for someone else.
Launching ripples of generosity. Classic pay it forward. Based on his idea that giving creates abundance.
Exactly. It perfectly sums up his philosophy.
And it challenges that myth we all seem to buy into, that success brings happiness. We chase success, thinking it's the key.
But success usually just gives a temporary boost. Avi's example, and a lot of research, shows it's the other way around. Happiness, or maybe whole being, actually leads to more success. It fuels creativity, better health, stronger relationships.
He shows you the shortcuts, really. Focus on the right inputs.
The process, not just the prize.
So let's leave our listeners with this final thought, drawing from John Stuart Mill. Don't aim directly for happiness. Instead, fix your mind on something else. So the question for you is, which single sapper element, spiritual, physical, intellectual, relational, or emotional, could you focus on, even in a small way, starting today? Knowing that working on these components is the real path to becoming happier, more whole, and maybe even a little anti-fragile, no matter what life throws your way.